What's up, Roof Nation? Eric with Regis Commercial Roofing. We're excited to be out here today. Today we're actually at a TPO roof, and the purpose of today is to be able to train our team. We want our team to become better in knowing and doing commercial roofs like this. What we're looking at today is a TPO roof. We're gonna be going over all the components. I'm excited to be able to show the team what to be looking out for so that we can be able to better serve the roofing community. Thank you all. This roof doesn't have no drains anywhere that the water can escape. And the reason that is because of the slope. A lot of times they purposely slope these roofs so that they can drain water. The easiest way to know that this roof is sloped is look at the walls. You see the walls? It goes down or they get bigger. So that's why there is no drains here. So that's something to always look at, because a lot of times the slope of the roof has a lot to do with if the roof's gonna drain properly, how long the system's gonna survive and all of that. Because on these type of roofs, if you don't have proper draining or proper slope, then the water's gonna get stuck. And so what the water does, it deteriorates the membrane, It starts, water is just there, it starts breaking down the membrane, it starts getting into the seams and all that type of stuff. So, that's just something I wanted to point out. Here on the edge, what we have is a cover tape. The reason that they put this cover tape here on the edges, whenever a building doesn't have any walls, they're gonna go ahead and put the cover tape all around, and that's to add reinforcements against it catching wind. You see that this metal edge, you see how this metal edge is even elevated? This is a different drip edge than the usual shingle. And the reason that it's up like this is for the same reason, so that it prevents the wind from catching the end. So whenever there's no walls, you're most likely always gonna be seeing a cover tape, because this is a reinforcement. And the metal might have to be different as well. A lot of times it's like this, a lot of times it looks different. But in this case, this is what it is. If you look along the walls are not gonna have that cover tape. So just an observation to make. Up here, when they put these satellites and stuff like that, you might have a client ask you, hey, so once y'all put the satellite stuff, what are y'all gonna put under? You could just be like, look, they usually put a loose piece of TPO. And the reason they do that is so that this sits and it doesn't damage the bottom membrane. And they left it loose so that you can move it around. As you can see right here, look, they had whenever they did the roof, they did a marking so that they knew it would go there. You see right here on the dish, this is the splatter. This is the splatter that hail leaves. Whenever there's hail, that's how the splatter looks. Whenever you get on a commercial roof, you start looking at all these, you start looking at the satellites, you start looking at the ACs and stuff like that. Here, this roof doesn't have the ACs, they have them inside, but the ACs will tell you there's splatter and stuff like that, there's potential roof damage. So right here, you see these little squares right here? These are patches. Yeah, these are patches. I don't know for what reason they did the patches, but those are patches. Right here, this right here, this is not a patch. This is not a patch. This is they put this where three edges meet. You see? You have this edge, and this edge meeting, and they do that to reinforce it, where they all meet. This is what you call the seam. This is a seam. This is where you run this hook, and if like this hook goes in there, that means that water could potentially be getting in there. So I just want you to notice the difference. This is a patch. This is a reinforcement joint. And it says right here, look, TPO. The reinforcement joint says TPO. Another thing to look out for whenever we're dealing with a building like this is, look, the TPO is a little bit separated from the edge right here. Water could be sweeping in. Water could be sweeping in. I don't know if that's the case on this roof. The other thing too is whenever you're identifying leaks, you gotta think about the structure. Think about it like this. If water is getting in right here, the roof might be leaking over there because the water is running. The water is running down. So a lot of times you're gonna be looking to, you're looking to spot a leak over there, and the leak's coming from this side. And that's when the gun that I'm gonna show you is gonna come in. The gun that I'm gonna be showing you is going to be coming in, and it's gonna play a factor, because with that gun, you're able to identify where water is at in the roof. So, just, you see how these joints are all along the edge? They're all along the edge. So another thing to look at is right here too. You see they put the joints right here too to reinforce. Why? Because this area might be a little bit weaker because it's a penetration. This is what you call wrapping a pipe. If you ever have a client, they might ask you, so how are you gonna take care of the pipes? And usually what we do is we wrap them. They wrap it all the way up with TPO, and then you see they put a little metal bracket right here. So they usually wrap them. And the same thing here. whenever there's a penetration, they usually reinforce it. So right here what we got is, we have this membrane that's running. So this was one roll, right? They dropped there, now this is another roll. You have this membrane that's running, and right here there's a 6-inch overlap. That means this is like 6 inches in here. And in here is where you have the plates. Is where you have the plates running all across. So right here, what they did was they went and added an extra layer of TPO to reinforce it. So we have the original TPO, then they put an extra layer, then they wrap the pipe. You see there's another layer right here, and then they put the joints. And that's to reinforce all those areas. Because you know, they're weaker areas and stuff like that. They're more prone to leaks. So they put extra. Why is there more prone to leak? Because of a penetration. Because it's a penetration. So as you can see right here is, look, you can see the plates. You see the plates? Y'all see how the plates are running? They're running exactly how I showed y'all inside the board. You know, they run along. So I want you to be very clear that these are seams. These are TPO seams. This is where the TPO overlaps 6 inches. And obviously, if you pay attention like this, if you pay attention to this, you see how the roof is running that way. So they basically started the roof from here down that way. And what's happening is, if you think about it, right here, this one could be over this one. But why do y'all think this one is over this one?
Because the water is running this way.
Yeah, and there's been mistakes where, you know, a roofer will put this one over here, and what's gonna happen when the water's coming in, it might not leak right away, but the water's constantly gonna be hitting that seam head on, to where right here it doesn't hit it head on, it just keeps, it keeps running. But that's something very important to know about it, so that's why I'm pointing that out. Let's walk over here. Coping cap, this is like a partial coping cap. Usually a full coping cap will cover all the way over here. It'll be just like this, and it'll extend all the way over here. As you can see here too on the wall, they added an extra perimeter, you see? So what they did was they ran their TPO all the way to here, and then up here they put another, they cut another, they're putting extra reinforcement, so they cut another strip of TPO and they're running it up the wall. Same reason, they want to reinforce the edges because of the wind and all that type of stuff. Also, like if you step right here on the edge, if you step on here on the edge and you only had one layer, it would be easier like to tear it, because you see how the membrane is being stretched right here, where it rounds up. So right here there's force. So if you stepped on it wrong or something, you could easily rip it. So that's why we always put that reinforcement, and that becomes part of the wall. Right here. This is right here. This is the joint strip. What is the purpose of this joint strip? To unite one section of the wall with the other one. Right here, the same thing. They ran the roll, they probably ran out of roll, so now they have to use another roll. So right here they did the same thing, a 6-inch overlap over here, and then they put these strips to reinforce it again, where they overlap, where one membrane meets the other membrane. Yeah, but for the wall.
What is that one?
The joint strip.
The same thing as this?
No, that's a T-joint.
T-joint?
Yeah.
T-joint or T-patches, they're known as T-patches.
T-patch and, no,
Joint strip. No, this is a joint strip. That's a T-joint.
T-joint?
Yes, because you see
Oh,
this.
yeah. And then this one's just a what?
A joint strip.
Just joint strip?
Yeah, a joint strip. And obviously one is a strip, and the joint strips are used for the walls. The T-joints are used for the field. What? So, I mean, it still works. You know, it still works. Maybe on here, what happened here was probably they came back to check. They ran the hook and they saw that it was, you know, that it was not welded right. So they put it. You can still put the strips on here, but usually a clean roof, nice roof is not going to be having all these type of patches. You know, it's just going to have how it's supposed to be appropriately done. You see that the T-joints are running all the way. You don't see these patches all the way. Maybe this roof is like this because they've done work on it. You know what I'm saying? So now, because they've done work on it. So let's go this way. I don't know why they use those. It's whoever the roofer was. You know, every roofer is different. So out here, as y'all can tell, this building is missing a cap right here, right? But you see how in a shingle roof you got the 3x1, the pipe jack. So this is your pipe jack here on the TPO. Y'all see how different it looks? And the same thing here, they did the reinforcement all around. They did the reinforcement all around. So right here, this is like a furnace vent. It's a furnace vent. Over here, you got, I think this is like a restroom. This could be a restroom plumbing pipe. But we usually use the same ones. And look right here, it'll tell you that's TPO. You always want to see what it is, because if this was a PVC roof, then you got to put a PVC material pipe. You can't, a pipe drag, you can't be putting a TPO one, because TPO and PVC don't weld the same. It says it on there. Yeah, TPO and PVC look the same. The difference is that one of them survives more chemicals than the other one.
So can you tell by feeling it?
What?
TPO versus
You gotta be good at it. But they have labels. Almost everything has labels. Look right here, it says TPO. Right here it says TPO, and most likely
They almost look alike or what?
yeah, and most likely this is a TPO because there's no. The only way this building would be a PVC, it would be if it's like restaurants and stuff in here. But since it's just offices and stuff like that, you go with the TPO. So what else we got? Let me see. So let's go over here. So as y'all can see, all of these are wrapped. All of these pipes are wrapped, and whenever it's not wrapped, they put this, you know, this pipe boot, you know. Wait, and so what is ponding causing? Look at all this. You see what ponding does? So like all this dirt with time, it starts to create damage because it's just sitting here. Usually on a good roof, on a good TPO roof, water's only supposed to stay up here for 24 to 48 hours. After a rain happened, come up here 24 to 48 hours and there's still water in the roof, then the drainage is not properly. If after 48 hours you come up here, there's no water, then that means that it's draining properly. Because right here we can see that it's not draining all the way properly. You see the water's getting stuck here on the edges. Yeah, this can cost ecosystems. What? 1,500. What? Hey, you should get a zoom into this. So, y'all see right here? Y'all see right here the ponding? Y'all see how the roof starts to look different? That's because it's being broken down. So a lot of times, in order to spot leaks and stuff like that, we're gonna have to use our thermal gun so we can see where exactly the water is. Because I'm telling you, in buildings like this, sometimes your problem is gonna be up there and the leak's gonna be out here. So this gun is actually like $1,500, and this is on the cheap side. There's guns that are worth $7,500, $10,000, and you know they do more. But so yeah, as y'all can see, this roof is ponding, and y'all see how you can start seeing that, you know, it's starting to look different. It's starting to break down. So everybody want to come in here? Y'all can look. Y'all can see. Franco, all that heat. Move, Franco. Y'all move.
All the red is that it's moist.
So what are we looking for? Red?
So we usually try to find moisture, you know.
Which is the red, right? Or is it the blue?
No, that's look. So right here we have. Hold on, you see the difference? We have. Gerardo getting in the way. But anyways, so look. So right here, what happens is the more water, the more time you have water here ponding, bro, it's gonna start to tear into this, and this is gonna become weaker. Yeah, it's gonna become weaker, causing leaks in the future. So now, if you think about it, if you have ponding right here, what's one way to fix it? So that's where, you know, you build crickets. Crickets get built underneath, or you would have to put more insulation under to elevate this area so that it starts draining down.
So you'd have to start elevating. So you ISO boards coming down this way, right?
Yeah, we probably have to put. We'd have to put more ISO, or we would have to do what is called taper. Taper, where you start cutting your ISO into shapes and start diverting the water. You see what I'm saying? So I'll show y'all the difference when we get down there between a cricket and, you know, taper system. But so, you know, just to wrap it up, right here, you know, you obviously got the wall extended. Right here you have a long wall. As I told you, you'll see it runs. It gets smaller as we walk over here. They put those strips. Oh look, they left the plate up here. You see, what? Don't step on it. You're gonna tear off the roof. So guys, you see, it's dangerous to leave this out here. If this was like that, yeah, if this was like that and I just step on it, I can probably tear into the membrane right away. It's delicate. You can tear. You always got to be careful when you're inspecting these roofs. You want to be careful what you're stepping on and stuff like that, because you're out there, you're doing inspection. You might have the roof leaking more if you step wrong or if you did something. A lot of the times when these people call us about leaks is because like people come up here, do AC work, do plumbing work, and they don't know how to walk on a roof. So like they'll drop their tools and stuff like that, and their tools will start doing piercings on the roof and stuff like that. How they walk, they'll just drop their tools. Like they'll drop a screwdriver, a hammer, a bit, and all of that. Next thing you know, they step on it and it tears. And a lot of times you can't see the tears. You got to pay very close attention. So, up here, you see this is how vegetation grows. Maintenance, that's why you got to be giving your roof maintenance. Sometimes this is inevitable. No matter if the roof is right, this is inevitable. This roof is not a bad roof. It has some areas that need attention, but this is why you need to be able to educate building owners on why it's important to be giving maintenance to your roof. Whenever we come out here and give maintenance, we will grab a shovel, we will clean all this up. Good video to make. Hey, part of our maintenance is to do this. We come up here, we shovel all this up, because if we don't shovel this up, vegetation is going to start to grow. Look, there's already little brush, little tree trunks growing and stuff like that. That's how vegetation starts growing. So, does anybody have any questions? I know it's a lot to take in, but does anybody have any questions? Snap a picture.